you're too tall. You're way too tall to be in a weight class. You're too. And this is my
I
problem
know.
though because I'm like 5'8", so I'm not
Mm,
short, but I'm not tall enough to hold over 100 kilos on my frame, which is why
yep.
I don't think I'll ever be a particularly successful open weight. So I
Right.
can't get the size. But when I first started strongman, I weighed 65 kilos.
What?
I looked
What?
like a fucking bobblehead. I looked like a
So
fucking
little.
bobblehead. I was useless as well. I was like so
Oh,
weak and useless, and my arms were like noodles. It was awful. And
that's
I
funny.
still didn't even have fucking abs. That was the only reason I tried to cut all the weight off because I was chunky when I got with our lad. Because you do, don't you? Get in a relationship, you get a bit
Yep.
fat. I was like, no, no, I'm gonna get abs. The only thing I care about is getting abs, and that's what started me into fitness really. And I got down, and I was dropping weight like week on week, really low, and I got to like 65 kilos, and I still looked like shit. I still was like, didn't have abs.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Today I am interviewing Becca Worgan. She is from the UK. Becca, where in the UK are you from?
I'm from the northeast,
The
Darlington.
Northeast. Perfect. So she is a U82 weight class strongwoman. There are a few things in 2023. She earned her title for the world's strongest natural woman under U82. And then in 2024, she placed second at the official Strongman Games Europe's U82 category. So she has a little bit of prestige under her belt. She's stood on some pretty big stages. And today we're going to be discussing the natural side of strongman because that's up and coming in Canada, and I want to know what it's like from a natural strong woman. But before we get started, I have a few fun questions for you.
Ooh.
So we're going to do a bit of an icebreaker. A would you rather? So, would you rather log or axle clean and press away?
Ooh. I'd say log, I think, because I like log and I find it easier to press away with because it's
Mhm.
easier rack position.
Would you rather farmer walk or duck walk?
Farmers every day of the week. Duck walk's a shit event.
I love duck walk, but I also have really long legs and long arms, so it fits perfectly right in my
Nah,
crotch. Um,
I've never had to do a duck walk in a comp, so I'm standing on that ground
Really,
now that I'm never doing one ever. I'll stand on
I'm
that
gonna put
hill.
it
I'll
out in the
die on it.
universe for you. You're gonna have a duck
No,
walk.
don't want one. Nope.
Sandbag toss or cake toss?
Mm, cake toss because I think it
Yep,
looks more exciting.
it is, and it's more fixed. And then if you like flick it just right, you can get the sand inside going against like for you. It's really nice.
Yeah,
I also prefer a cake toss. Natural stone load or Atlas stone load?
natural. I love natural
Why?
stones.
Tell me
I I
why.
I find them easier. It might be because of post bicep off, and I just have a little bit of fear with Atlas stones, which I don't really know where it's come from. But natural stones, I feel like once you get the groove of how to pick them up and you get a good like handhold on them, it's so
Yep.
much fun, and I enjoy the like problem solving bit of that as well. Me
Um,
too.
2 hour spin class or 200 burpees?
Neither is deaf an
You have
option.
to pick. Nope. Well, you can die through
um,
either one.
how
It's
long have we
called
got to do
rhabdo.
two? How long have we got to do 200 burpees? 4 days? If so,
Nope.
then that.
You have to do it in one day, in probably in a 2 hour time span.
2 hour spin class then, because I feel like there'd be more people in there and I could get away with cheating.
That's fair. Most embarrassing gym fail, you or someone that you've watched in the gym
Oh, I
or
don't
in a
know
comp.
really. Um, because I find the fails hilarious. To be fair, I had one at
Mhm.
England's the other week because I fell over right at the very end with the Husafell sandbag, and I was head to head with Donna Moore,
Oh
and like
yeah.
I thought I had her. I was like, I've got you now. Like I saw her in my peripheral, and I thought, slow poke, I've got you now. Fuck off, Donna. And I started bezzing, and my legs just took away from me. But when I dropped the sandbag as well. obviously because I've been competing a while, so I slid it a little bit along the ground. I thought I'm not letting that just drop where it is. It can go for a little ride. Cut that
Yeah.
fucking run for me, and then picked it up. And yeah, it was embarrassing because I would have beat her if I hadn't fallen over. I would have beat her, and I'll stand on that. I'll stand by that
Man,
hill.
I'll stand by
But
that too because I've said that so many times. If I wouldn't have passed out, I would have had it. What's the weirdest fitness challenge or in a comp event you've done? So for me, it's been the salmon toss.
ooh, I don't feel like I've been able to do a lot of really weird events. I've sort of been limited. I remember we did one comp. It was like a Teesside air show, and we were meant to be pulling. We were originally pulling a plane, that never happened. And then we were meant to be
Ah,
pulling a vintage fire engine, but the fire engine rocked up. I think it was a fire engine. I can't remember, but it was either full of water or the guy definitely had the handbrake on and no one could pull it. So no one could pull that either. So so then we had to get like this random truck that was knocking about
yeah.
and just pull that instead. It was a bit shit to be honest, but
Oh my
I haven't
God.
done any weird events really. Whoops a
So
daisy.
nothing? That's like the only thing?
I think so. I can't think in my head where, but the thing is, I don't get embarrassed very easily. I'm the
Yeah,
first one to laugh at
same.
myself. So even if I have done something embarrassing, I was probably the first one that was like memeing myself on fucking Instagram the day after. So like, I just don't, I
Nice.
can't remember anything where like I don't think of embarrassing moments. I think of embarrassing things I say in other situations, but in strongman, I'm aware I'm just a bit of a dickhead anyway. So like.
Just wide awake. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, like if I'll be sleeping at home. I think, fucking hell, what have I said on placement today? Some fucking stupid bullshit. But then when I'm doing strongman, I'm aware I'm just an idiot, so it doesn't matter.
Honestly, I think everyone's an idiot in strongman, and that's why we all join, is because we have a place for all the idiots.
100%.
Anyways, so let's get into some of the questions. So tell me the timeline of you entering strongman, finding natural strongman, and the success you've come across in the natural strongman scene. So that's quite loaded, so take your time.
No problem. So yeah, I started strongman training in like end of 2019, so I was just pre-COVID. And I started because I wanted to do a bit of bodybuilding. I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to look jacked. Quickly realized I couldn't do bodybuilding because I was too lazy and started messing about with like the Atlas stones and stuff in the gym. And someone was like, "Oh, have you thought about doing a strongman competition?" I was like, "What the fuck's that?" But yeah, sounds looks really good. Let's do it. So I did a. I was meant to do comps in 2020, but obviously it didn't happen because of COVID and all that
Right.
sort of stuff. So I started properly competing in 2021. Did a couple of novices. Um, and to be fair, I think at that point there was a couple of natural federations. There was the BNSF, which is tested through WADA, so like the whole
Yep.
Olympics testing process. And that was sort of the birth of UKNS as well, which is the other natural federation we have. I didn't get involved in the very beginning because I didn't know what my path was going to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just doing comps for a bit of crack.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I did all right in 2021, got the bug for it. 2022 was the year that I decided I'd tried to do an 82s comp and I'd had to water cut for it because when I started strongman, I very quickly gained a lot of weight. Like I
Mhm.
went from like 65 kilos to about like 85, 90 straight away within about maybe 2 or 3 months. It was fast as fuck. I think that was
Mhm.
just because my body wasn't I wasn't set up to be 65 kilos ever in my
Yeah.
life.
No.
So it was a fast progression. So I tried an under 82 comp and I'd had a horrible cut because I didn't know how to water cut and I was just messing about. So 2022, I decided, nah, go in the opens, be an open weight for a bit, just see how you fare. Um, and I did OSG Worlds with you and
Mhm.
failed a lot of the events, 3 of them out of 4. So that was fun. However, I will say that I did come 19th in, was it 19th?
Nice.
No, I think I came 19th overall, but I came 12th in the sandbag on the final event. So I was like, oh,
Nice. Nice. I
yeah.
like that one. That was so fun.
It was a good event. I pulled it back by the end. Just didn't do anything all day until that one event. I was saving myself.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then after that, I realized that I wasn't going to be. I wanted to be successful. Like my whole goal in this is always to be at the top. Like I want to be a world's strongest woman. I want to be winning stuff. I want to be at the top. I want to be a big name. So I was like, to do that, I'm going to have to drop into a weight class because I'm just not tall enough. So
Mhm.
I dropped to under 82, lost loads of weight, and that was again that was a massive, ridiculous cut because I'd come back from Worlds in 2022. That was like December time at about 94 kilos, and I think the UKNS, the England's first like the first competition, which was technically like the national England's, but at the time it wasn't big enough to call it England's.
Right.
I had to be under 82 for, and I think I had 8 weeks to drop from 94 to 82. So I did that. It was awful. I was struggling to press a
Sounds
65
terrible.
kilo log. It was
Ugh.
fucking awful. I hated
Yeah.
it. But I managed to get there and I won that. And then that was sort of my progression into like the natural strongman side. So my goal with that was that I wanted to do the full pathway because we had England's, UK's, and then that was the first year that they did Worlds. So that was the first year for World's Strongest Natural Woman, which was 2023.
Okay.
Um, so I did that. And got through to UK's, obviously did UK's, I won UK's as well. And then I went to Worlds and managed to win Worlds too. So 2023 was
Nice.
like a real big year for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I loved it, like absolutely adored it. I did quite a lot of comps. I did Europe's that year as well and came fourth behind Sandra Bradley, Donna Moore, and Annetta. And that was awesome to be in the tested side and be doing well in that, and also the
Yeah.
untested side and be doing well with that. I could never compete in the BNSF because we're a fan of recreational drugs. So, and my decision as well
That's
to be
fair.
like a natty has always just been for the case of like I've not felt the need yet to have to
Yeah.
take peds. Um, and I think I was very lucky when I first came into Strongman that I sort of got taken under the wing of Jenny Todd very
Yeah.
quickly. Made really good pals with her, made really good pals with like Donna and them. And instead of ignoring all of their advice, I actually did listen to quite a lot of it.
Hmm.
So, and I
Good.
think that was really helpful because a lot of people were sort of, I've never had the situation where you've been in a gym, and I know a lot of women go through this where you get in a gym, you're a bit strong, and this someone says to you, "Oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Oh, if you hurt your back, have you tried this? Have you thought about going on this? You'd be really good on that." I never had that. No one
That's
ever
good.
approached me and told me like, "Oh, you should try pets." I was
That's
like,
good.
"What?" So I was completely like, it was unbeknownst to me the whole world of pets,
Hmm.
which is good because I think it gave me a little bit of the fear of like the
Yeah.
unknown of them. So I've never dabbled, but that's not to say I'm never going to. Like,
Right.
I'm now at a point in the sport where I'm 5 years in, and while I'm still a natty, I'm at the point now where I'm sort of having those discussions with myself and
Yeah.
going, is this something you want to do? Do you want to make that decision yet? Like, are we ready to
Yeah.
do it or not? And yeah, so
I mean, my
forgot what.
general rule of thumb to all of my clients is, how long have you been doing this? Um, and how long have you had a barbell in your hand? Because you could only be doing strongman for 2 years and decide to do it. But like my rule of thumb is 5 to 10 years for my clients. If they don't want to listen to me, that's fine. Then maybe we're not the right fit. But yeah, I always encourage that too, because like you have a lot of maturity to do with your muscle development, and like
Hmm.
rushing it is going to lead to injury right away. So I've never ever pushed anyone towards it because honestly, there's no point. It's expensive, and what if you don't want to do it long term? So that's good. I'm glad
100%.
that people didn't send you astray.
Yeah, and I think as well, like there's a lot of risk factors involved with PEDs, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that. And like I know my mental health through the years has dipped every
Hmm.
now and then. Like I don't have the best mental health. I'm stable
Right.
now. Like I'm super happy and good, but I wouldn't want to do anything that would potentially pull me back into those like bad
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Um,
And it does affect that way too.
100%, and I'm very like susceptible to stuff. Like I don't take many vitamins and stuff, but like I've tried like supplements. Like I tried maca root, right? I got horrific
Mhm.
side effects from it straight away. I was like, this is shit. This is meant to be like a natural thing. Like
Macaroon
I'm
is
a
what my menopausal mom takes. Why are you taking maca?
because I was trying to get my hormones back
Oh,
on track because I've been on
oh no.
hormonal contraception for so long, and I'd done a
Hmm.
whole like rejig this year. Like
Right.
my hormones gonna be on it. Took Macaroon.
Hmm.
Honestly, all I got was sore boobs for fucking weeks,
Hmm.
man. It was shit, absolute
Don't
shit. So
don't take maca unless you're on you have menopause.
nah, that I didn't need
Like
that. That was for
my
sure.
mom just sings the praises of maca, but that's because she's like 60. Uh-oh. 66? I don't
Are
think
you
she
sure?
listens to these podcasts anyway, so it's fine.
She probably won't want to listen to this one because I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
65. She's 60. No, she's 67. Dang. So anyways, she loves it, so but don't take it if you're young.
Nah. But this is what I mean. Like I react to stuff quite strongly. So I
Mhm.
think with that, I'm gonna have to be super sensible about what I'm doing anyway. And I want to make sure, so like as well, I'm one of three natural women that I know of that have had a bicep off. Because that's just,
Oh,
while it's a horrifically common strongman injury, it's really, really common in people who use PEDs
yeah,
because so you grow in
yeah.
muscle bulk, you grow in the belly of the muscle, it doesn't really affect tendon health. Your tendons usually have quite bad health from PED
Hmm.
use, like it does create holes in tendons and ligaments, especially with like prolonged use. So
Yep,
the fact that
100%.
I got a bicep off without that concerns me massively. Like that my tendon health probably isn't the best anyway.
Just means you need
And
to
it
drink more milk, Becca.
well,
That's all
actually,
that
to be fair,
means.
for years I didn't drink milk because I just hated the taste of it. It's gross. But I do drink milk a lot now. I've come
There you
back round
go.
to it.
Did you drink
Yeah,
milk before you tore your bicep?
no, probably not.
Figured it out. There we
The
go.
fucking milk, the
It's
goddamn
milk.
milk. But
So
yes,
these seem like some of the challenges that you faced as a natural strongman. What are some of the other challenges you faced being natural?
I think to be honest, the biggest thing for me is recovery. Like
Mm,
my recovery is it's fucking hard work. And I think whenever you get people who come off cycle and they have to train natty for a bit, they're like, why'd you do this? This is shit. And I'm like, I'm fully aware. It's fucking awful, mate. Like,
sore all the time.
yeah, if I had to train fucking 2 or 3 times back to back, I'm fucked for days. Absolute
Imagine
days.
3 times back to back to back.
I just die. I just absolutely die, and that's the biggest thing I've
Yeah.
noticed. Like especially with stuff like heavy deadlifts. So I know that. So Europe's 2023. I was training a lot with Jenny, Donna, all them lot. We had a right crew of people training
Mhm.
together, and a lot of that training crew were on PEDs. And we're using stuff to help them recover and stuff like that. And I wasn't. And while I was still training and doing the same stuff that everyone else was doing, and then 2 weeks
Mhm.
before Europe, fucking herniated disc in my back. So like,
Oh my
and
God.
I have this on quite a regular basis. Is because my comp preps are really hardcore. I've got quite a I'm can train to a high volume level, but at some point my body just goes, nah, you can't cope with that. And my brain's too strong for my body, if that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
I'll fight through and just push through and be like, nah, you're fine. You're being a little bitch. Just fucking crack on, mate. You're fine. And then all of a sudden my body's like, ha ha, herniated disc, bicep
Yeah.
gone, fuck you. Like we're not playing this game. So that's my
Yeah, that's
biggest
tough.
thing is that I'm just fighting injuries all the time. I'm fighting niggles. I'm fighting injuries. And I don't have the time frames that people who use PEDs or peptides or anything else like that that they do
Yeah.
to pull it back round in time.
Yeah. Does your coach give you frequent deloads?
Yeah. So my
Okay.
coach Molly is really good, and like we've worked together now for years. So she sponsored me in 2021, I'm gonna
Hmm.
say, because I told her I wanted to be world's strongest woman, and she was like, "Yep, I believe you. I think you can do it. Like, let's go. I'll sponsor you. Like, you can
Nice.
have free coaching just on your way." And we
Hmm.
work so well together, and she knows me in and out like now, and we've got such a good relationship that I can just message her and be like, I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked. Can't do this. And now we know that like 2 weeks before comp prep, that's when I have to start my comp deloads. I can't
Yeah.
start my comp deload a week before comp because it just fucks me up. Like at that 2 week period before a comp is where everything starts to go wrong for me. So I have to be able to
Yeah.
pull back in time to have a nice sail into comps instead of being wrecked.
That's the biggest thing I find with coaching as well is like I can always get someone strong. Like if you follow the program, you're going to get strong. But where the real coaching takes place is knowing your athletes, checking in with their body, being like, okay, how are you? Oh, you're a little sore. Actually, I'm noticing that you're missing a lot of lifts. So it's a deload week. No, 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 I don't need it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I just needed to rest this weekend. Well, I'm giving you 50% of everything. So either
Yeah.
you choose to listen to me or you can go ahead and mess yourself up even further for next week. So,
With coaches, like you've within that first year of getting to know somebody, it's very much up to you to tell that coach how you're feeling. If you're not
Yep.
truthful and you're not telling them how you're actually feeling in your sessions, then it's on you. And once that period is over, like a couple of years down the line, you're with the same coach, they have a little bit of responsibility over you, but it's still your responsibility. Like if Molly programs me stuff and I think, fuck that, like there's no way that this is going to be able to happen this week because of the way that I'm feeling, I just message her and
Mhm.
say it, or I slightly deload myself and go, I can't really do that. And Molly's really good as well at knowing sort of when I'm going to start saying those things, when I've got burnout coming. She can sort of, she already knows it's happening and she's like, I saw this coming. I know what you
Yeah.
need. Come on, back it
Yeah.
off a bit. Like, let's
Yeah.
get back on track.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is just knowing your athlete and being able to trust your coach. Because if you don't trust your coach, then that's not going to happen.
100%. This is why I see when people are swapping coaches every fucking season and changing a coach for each competition. I just think you're not getting the best out of anybody there. Like you've not spent enough time with that person for them to
No.
understand how you work and get the best out of you.
And I think there comes a point too where, you have to drop your ego, humble yourself, and admit that someone else is right.
Yeah,
And although you know quite a bit, because like I'm a kinesiologist, I could, for all means and purposes, I could be my own coach, but I hire who I hire because I need the accountability. And just because I can do a program, and there are some times where, coach will give me some things and I'll do extra because I'm just feeling a certain thing here today. So I'm going to just go ahead and do what I need to do and then continue the program. And then I'll let him know later, like, hey, wasn't feeling good. I added this, I did this. And he'll be like, oh, well, no, that's a really good thing. Good job. But like,
yeah.
I think there comes a point where the student has to learn from the master. And I agree with you. If you're constantly coach hopping, then you really think that you're something and that you know more and you don't need them anymore. And if you're just going to special hire specialists, if you're going to hire a deadlift specialist, if you're going to hire an overhead specialist, a sandbag throwing what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a joke. That is a pyramid scheme in strongman. People who specialize in teaching dumbbell or deadlift. Oh God. Okay. That's a great money making scheme. You are committed to the triangle. Anyways,
I think for because I know that like so Josh Molly's partner he does specific lift coaching and I
mhm,
think that's it. If say you've got a coach and you say like the problem is I think the problem is with strongman is a lot of coaches are just fucking shit, aren't there? Like there's a lot of people out there who've done strongman for fucking less than a year. They've done one fucking novice
and
comp
now
or a
they're a
national
coach.
level comp. Yeah, and they're like, oh, I'm going to coach this because I don't need any qualifications. I can get the
Yeah.
most basic insurance, if any insurance, to be honest, and I can
Mhm.
coach it. Where and like with those coaches, then you get the gaps in knowledge. So like I know Josh does
Yes.
quite a lot of specific dumbbell coaching because he is very good at that lift and he can find those technical cues that people need just from watching a video of them. And I think
Yeah.
that's really beneficial. But I think if you're with a coach and you're having to pay somebody else extra to give you technical cues on a lift, your coach probably just isn't very good.
Or it's just they're just not a good fit. They might be a good coach, but just not for you because they might be speaking a language and you're saying the same thing but different, and it's just not clicking. So for
Yeah.
all intents and purposes, I love biomechanics. I've watched thousands of hours of different lifting videos, different mechanics, stuff like that. But I might not be able to give you the right cue. It might work for me, it might work for her, it might work for him, it might work for those 10 people, but for you, you might not get what I'm trying to say. Like when I say chest up, you might be like, well, yeah, my chest is up, but it's like, no, think about getting your sternum flat to the sky. Like for
Yeah.
you, that might be like, oh, I get it. But for someone else, it'd be
Yeah.
like, I still don't get it. It's like, okay, well, like clearly what you and I are doing, we're just not working together as a team. Like I think you need to find a different coach who's going to work with you so that you can hear things properly. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's I think that comes with maturity in the sport and knowing how to say stuff like that.
100%. Yeah. I think if your coach can't look at your video lifts and give you like
Yeah,
biomechanical technical
true.
cues, then and I do think this is in a lot of like especially strongman coaching. People just think they can just write an online program and ping it out to everybody and be like, here you go, that's all you need, I'll see you next week. And you're like, no,
Yeah,
the whole point of it is you can give those technical cues back. And yeah,
yeah,
I think there is definitely a space for single lift coaching,
yeah,
but I do think if you're having
yeah.
to require that, it's maybe not, it's probably because you're coaching very good.
So, anyways, what have been some of the some of the defining moments in your strong woman career?
Well, winning Natural Worlds, I think, was my big one, where it
Mhm.
was good and bad, because I think it was good because I'd set my mind to it. I was obsessed. The only thing I wanted to do was win Natural Worlds. Like, I remember having talks with like Donna beforehand and like being like, I can't, like, this is my being. Like, I feel like this is the only one thing I want in my life at the moment is winning this. And talking to her and sort of her giving me a bit of clarity around it, because obviously she's so experienced and she knows so much about the fucking sport and being at the top of
Yeah,
it. She was so good at like guiding me to like it being a sensible thing instead of me just like letting it completely consume me in the prep, and just keeping my head together, really. But yeah, that was a massive defining moment for me when I won it. But I do think like afterwards, I got a proper downer because I was like, one, no one cared about it at all. Like other than people in strongman, like if I said to anyone, "Oh, I won like world's strongest woman, like natural world's strongest woman." Oh, was it in a weight class? Oh, was it, tested.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right. Well, oh yeah, well done. Where was it? Oh, Edinburgh. Oh, all
yeah,
right then. Yeah, like day-to-day normal general life people just didn't give a flying fuck about it, which is fair. And
yeah.
I think as well what happened after that is I put so much pressure on myself because I was like, I'm the shit now. I've done it.
Mhm.
I've reached the level. I am
Mm,
top of the pack. And like then I had too much pressure on myself and I stopped
yeah,
enjoying competing because I felt like everyone expected me to do
yeah,
really well after that, and obviously it didn't go to
yeah.
plan. Like I had a big crash and burn at the beginning of 2024 when my bicep came off, and I was set for getting a British axle record at the time, and that's how I got my bicep off. Was training for that.
Oh,
Again, I'd let it consume me, and that was the only thing I was focused on. I had exams coming up
yeah,
at uni. I was like, give a fuck about them. I'm going to get this axle record, which is insane because the axle record wasn't going
yeah.
to fucking pay me any money, was it? My fucking future career probably would, though, wouldn't it? So,
Maybe.
to be honest, it was quite lucky that bicep came off, I think, because it proper brought
Yeah,
me back down to earth of being like, you need other
yeah.
stuff outside of this sport. You can't just rely on this sport for everything.
Isn't that interesting? That was something that, so Aaron and I did premarital counseling before we got married. And that was one of the things that the counselor said was, if strongman disappeared tomorrow, what would you have? And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, like it's not going anywhere. But it's like, no, like that's a really good question because you're not just not just an athlete. Like you have different facets to you. And to be so consumed in one thing, well, now you're not feeding the other things that make you who you are. And now when that one thing comes down, what do you have left? Like, do
Yeah.
you still have friends outside of the sport? Because some of the friends that we gain in strongman, they're only friends because of your status. They're only friends because of what you've done. Are they going to be there afterwards? And what about the friends that you had outside? Like, are you going to have those, athletic friends that you used to go play whatever sport with? Like, you have those girlfriends that you can go for coffee with that it's nice to be with them because they know nothing about strongman and you can just talk normal. Like, do you still have that or did you let that all go in pursuit of an obsession?
Nah, so I still had that. I think I was just so hyper focused, and
Yeah.
I am bad for this. Like, I am bad for just getting one idea in my mind and being like, "This is all I do now, nothing else, 24/7, one thing." And I think like I'm very lucky because I've got a fucking full life. Like, I've got loads of shit going
Yeah.
on all the time, loads of people around me, and I think having that bicep off sort of reminded me that I need to pay more attention to everything around me. It took me a while. I didn't learn it after bicep off because I had to go through the entire even Natty Worlds last year, which was a fucking shit show for me. But I learned it then at that point. So it took me about 8 months to learn it, but we got there in the end.
Injury is the gift that no one expected.
Nah, 100%. It's one of them. I think, like for me in 2024, I'd done Europe, so again, I'd had the bicep off, I'd rehabbed it. But then when I started competing again at the end of 2024, I was like, fuck, no one knows who I am anymore. I need to prove myself. I need to prove that I'm back. I need to make sure that everybody knows that I am still as good as I was in 2023, and if not better now. And I did Europe's, and I fucked up Europe's big time. Like, I made second by the skin of my fucking teeth. After day one, I wasn't even in the top three. There was like a good, like, I think there was a big gap between us, me and like the top three. But
Yeah.
then on the second day, it was dumbbell, and me and
Mm.
one other girl were the only girls that managed to hit the dumbbell weight. Everyone else zeroed it. So it was literally a case
Ooh.
of if anyone else had hit that weight within that top three,
Yeah.
I'd have not made that podium, not at all. So I
Ooh.
only got second because other people failed, and I hated that. Hated the fact that my placing was only reliant on the fact that other people hadn't done very well, and it wasn't down to me. Like, I feel like it wasn't a real achievement, if that makes sense. It is an achievement, but
It
not a
is
proper
like
one.
I see where you're coming from because I would be under the exact same mindset. But coming in from like a third view, they also knew the weights. They also knew the bell. They also knew that was there. So it was up to them to be prepared for that. Like there's a level of preparedness that you have to have going into comps. And you have to understand that your like your equipment at your gym will be different than what's in comp. Like
Yeah,
I've never had equipment that I've trained on feel the same in comp. It's always been a different piece of equipment. So it's like, yes, although you're hitting that weight and more in the gym, it's a different dumbbell at the comp.
yeah.
So that's going to change everything. That's going to change your biomechanics. That's going to change your headspace. Like that's going to change everything.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I do understand that it was a good thing, but it
Mhm.
didn't feel like a
Right.
righteous win for me.
Right.
And then stupidly 5 days later, I then went into Natty Worlds.
Oh,
And this was so before Europe's again. I'd had the same thing, which seems to be now the curse of Europe's for me. Is I get this like little angry herniated disc about 2 weeks before, so my back was already a bit fucked up before Europe's, and I failed the deadlift, which was like it was heavy, but I should have probably at least got one rep. So
right.
I knew going into Natty Worlds, I wasn't at 100%. I knew I wasn't gonna be really good, and I think because I had the pressure of being last year's winner,
Yeah.
I just let it absolutely get to me. And we did the first event, we did log at Natty Worlds, and I did not great, not terrible. I think I came like third or something. And then we did the frame carry, and I'd fully expected to just get the frame up and move it. Like, I've never had a problem picking up stuff from the floor, and I couldn't move it, couldn't get off the floor. And I remember sort of standing there trying a couple of times and being like, oh no. What is this? This wasn't on my fucking bingo card. Shit. And
And then you start
I
to say it was heavier. They used heavier plates. It's not
well
250, it was a 275 sandbag. I swear to God. And it's just like, no, no. They glued it to the floor.
yeah, and I was just like, fuck, like, oh fuck, this is. I always have plans for events at comps, and I think most people are the same. You
Mhm.
sort of know where you're going to be at.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I've done in training and what I'll be able to get on the day, and that was just a complete unexpected anomaly day. And after that event, I stayed on and I cheered the other girl on because I'm not a cunt. Like, I
Yep.
fucking won't drop out of an event like that. That's a dickhead thing to do. But afterwards, I had to take myself out of the event and just went and sat on the phone and rang our lad and just cried at him and was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel like shit. My bicep was fucking killing me, which I hadn't felt up until that point. Like,
Yeah.
I just, and I think it was more my back was killing, my bicep was killing, and I think it was my body just going, fuck you. Like, we are
Yeah.
so done. And I decided at that point I was going to pull out. Went back into the event, and my coach and one of my mates was there, and they were like, "You're not pulling out. No, we need to have a talk about this. We need to have a talk about this." And I was like, "Fuck, I'm pulling out. Like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore." And they were talking to me, and they were saying, "Why don't you just warm up?" And it was Husafell max distance as the next event, like a metal Husafell.
Ugh.
And I was thinking about it, and the thought of it was filling me with fear. Like, when you're getting that heart palpitations, I felt like I was going to
Mhm.
cry, and I'm not really a crier. And I just thought, I can't do this event. I can't because I'll either have a heart attack or I'll really hurt myself. And I'll look back at this moment in time and go, this was a pivotal moment where you made a decision and you're either going to make the right one or the wrong one. So make sure it's the fucking right one. And
Yep.
because I had that thought, I just thought, nah, I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Went over to the organizer, said, look, I'm really sorry, but I know I haven't technically got an injury, but I'm pulling out because of injury because
Smart.
I'm not in the right place and I need to
Yep.
just pull back. And I wasn't enjoying myself. I was having a fucking shit time. Like I was there and I was fucking worked up and anxious. And I've done that before at comps where I go to comps and I'm not in the right place and I don't enjoy myself and I'm a dickhead. I'm a dickhead at
Yeah.
comps anyway, but at least I'm a funny dickhead. When I'm in that place, I'm not funny.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like aggressive and sad.
Angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I don't want people to come away from a comp and think, fucking hell, that
Yeah.
Becca Worgan, she's a knobhead. Like, she was a
Yeah.
bitch to me at that comp. And I don't want people to think that about me. So I won't put myself in those situations.
And I think that's a good attitude to have where it's just like, I don't want to cast a negative shadow for other people. So I'm just going to dip, take care of my own nasty attitude, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, 100%. I just hate being that negative person. I'm not a
Yeah.
negative person. I always want people to like be around me. I've got this thing where people are either radiators or drains. So you're either a radiator or a drain, aren't you? I don't want to be a fucking drain. I'm a
No.
radiator, me. People should feel better when they're around me, not worse. So if
Yeah.
I'm gonna
If
make
I
people
can't
feel
make you
worse,
laugh,
I'm exactly I'm out.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you were to start over again with Strongman, what would you do differently?
I actually don't think I'd do anything differently. I think I'd do exactly the same thing. Without
Yeah.
being big-headed, I think the way that I've come through strongman has been successful for me, and
Hmm.
I can see a long future in strongman for me. And
Yeah.
I think the progression that I'm taking at the moment is enough. I'd like it to be faster. Obviously, everybody would. Like everyone
Yeah.
wants to get to the top quicker, but I think genuinely when I think about how I've dealt with higher pressure situations, I need that time. I need that
Yeah.
time to mature and progress into it. Like I
Yeah.
think if I got a rogue invite now, I'd be a fucking nightmare. I'd just crumble. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think, well, you know that about yourself, so give yourself the
Yeah.
time. Put
Yeah.
yourself in a time frame of 5, 10, 15 years and think, yeah, it's available to me. It's there, but
Yeah.
I need to put work in before I get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and two, like a lot of people want it quick and right away. And I actually had this chat with someone at in St. Paul, Alberta at the show last weekend where he was like, yeah, I like hopefully like I'll get my pro card this year and then blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, so devil's advocate here, like what happens if you don't get it? And he was just like, well, I guess I go again. Like I go again the next year. And I was like, okay. And if you do get it, do you understand that you're now a rookie all over again in the season? Because like there are people who have more matured muscle mass, they have more experience on big competition floors. Their mental health is good because they've been there, done that several times. They've failed, succeeded way more times than you have. Like are you willing to be the rookie all over again? And however long you were an amateur or a rookie or whatever, let's say 6 years, are you willing to wait 6 years again until you're at the top? And he was just like, I am a very patient man. It's like, okay, there we go. But I
Yeah,
can
that's all it
guarantee
is.
you, a lot of people would say, oh, I have to put in that much work again. Like, I don't get an invite to all the big show. No, because like that even happened for me. Like I was telling you before we hit record, I started this as a 93 open, a 93 kilo open. And there was like a middle heavyweight U90 that I could have cut down to. But I was just like, you know what? If someone's gonna whip my ass, that's just a learning lesson, and then I can figure out where the holes in my game are. So I'm
Yeah,
happy to stay open and just get beat up for a little bit because eventually I'll be the one doing the beating up of the younger athletes, and not in like a negative way, but
yeah,
like it'll be me who's the finalist. It'll be me who's on the podium. So you just have to put the time and effort in, and you have to understand that it's if you like this it's a long game. It's not a short game. If you want a short
yeah,
game, take Peds in a blaze of glory and just have fun and die at 34. It's fine. But if you want to be around to see your grandkids, just be patient.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And I think nothing good ever
Mm-mm.
happens quickly. Like
No.
if you learn a skill, you're never gonna learn a skill and be absolutely fucking mint at it. This is why like all those things, so like if you're a carpenter or like a fucking joiner or like a really shit hot electrician, you don't just go into that and know what to do you? Like it fucking takes years to build that up. So why would it be any different in strongman? Like it's not. It's a
And
skill that you've got to learn how to do.
the plumber who's been working for 30 years is going to charge way more than the plumber apprentice who just started 2 years ago. Like there's a reason
Yeah.
we pay him for his expertise. So
Exactly. And that's the thing. Expertise in anything just takes fucking time.
yeah, exactly. And that's like that goes with everything, like professionalism, that goes with, who you know in the sport, developing those relationships and those professional relationships. Because let's be real, if you're going to be a pro athlete, you have to act professional as well. And that means that if you bump into someone that you're not friendly with, you still have to be professional, even though you might not be the best of friends. That happens everywhere. Like you
Yeah.
just have to respect the name of the game. So honestly, yeah, it's wise to just take your time because strongman is going nowhere. And if you have a foothold, then just keep working hard. And that
Yeah.
goes for everyone. And I hate that saying because it feels so derogatory. Like, just keep working hard, bud. You'll get there. Like, you do have to put the time in. You still have to work hard. So,
100%.
what is the natural strongman scene like in the UK? So, in Canada here, it started to take off in 2023, I believe. And we just had a qualifier for Natural Worlds on the same weekend as the Arnold. That happened in Calgary, Alberta.
Mhm.
So, it's just starting to take off here. So, what's the natural strongman scene been like in the UK?
To be honest, it's fucking big. Big now. It's
Yeah?
really good. It's grown massively. So I think the majority of the growth has come from UKNS, which is the like the newest natural federation. And I think just
Okay.
because of the way that they've set things up and they've ran things, all the competitions are super professional. They're well set up. Like
Yes.
they obviously have teething problems like every federation does, but
Yeah.
majority of it is really well set up. And like we've just done England, so I know they've just done the UK NS Masters and Juniors as well. And like I didn't do the Masters and Juniors, but I went to the England's weight classes and opens, and it was
Mhm.
huge. I think there was something like 170 or 180 athletes across two
Oh,
days. It was massive for a national level qualifier. It was
wow.
absolutely huge.
That's
And I
huge.
think they're growing it year on year, like it's progressively getting better. They're listening to athletes, they're changing things they need to
Good.
change, and it's a really cool and good federation to be involved with. I can't say anything really for the well, I know the BNSF is under a different name now. I was trying to work out. I did another podcast yesterday, and I was trying to remember the name of it. I can't fucking remember it. Can I? It's like Weird GB UK or something like that. Jack Renison, this lad here, will be ripping
Okay.
me because I can't remember what it is. But there is that federation as well. I know that that's not as well attended, and I think they do
Right.
have some teething problems with events and the way that they run a few competitions. But the UKNS pathway is really good, and I think it's class to have it. Like I hate this big argument between natties and non-natties. I don't fucking care, regardless.
Yeah.
We need it on both sides. Like this is
Yeah.
it's a baby sport that's not got big legs anywhere. So I think we
No.
need the natural side. We need the untested side. That's just how it's going to be for a while. It doesn't make you better or worse being in either one. You're just in one.
No.
That's it.
And honestly, like it's a choice everyone makes. It's an untested sport entirely. So whether you choose to use or you choose not to use, that's on you. But to start a witch hunt is absolutely asinine because it's untested. So what's your big deal? If you have
I
a
guess.
personal vendetta against it, then like clearly the sport isn't for you because you're going to be dealing with tested and untested people as you go through this entire sport. So I roll my eyes whenever someone just brings up the comment because it's like, I'm sorry. Is this powerlifting? No. If you
Yeah.
have a problem with people who should be tested or whatever, if you have people who are have a problem with people who are on PEDs, go back to powerlifting. Go back
Yeah.
to tested powerlifting. Like this is an untested sport and we don't make judgments on people based on that or not unless they're an
Yeah.
absolute dickhead then we feel free to make your judgments.
We make
But
judgments and
like,
silly choices.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's like, anyways, whatever. But yeah, I just find it absolutely ridiculous because it's like this isn't weightlifting, this isn't powerlifting, this is strongman. It's untested across the board. So
Yeah,
if you have a personal vendetta against it, go do naturals, but understand your comments mean nothing because there are some big, strong girls up there in the ranks in the pros who are natural. So, and honestly, they're best friends with other girls who are unnatural. So it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if it affects you, get stronger. If you don't want to use PEDs, stay in your lane and just take the beating or find a pathway that you can be successful if winning is so important to you.
yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And like, so I didn't choose to do the natural pathway this year because and I've openly said it, like this was the year where I was contemplating taking PEDs and I was thinking about stuff and I wanted to try peptides because of like the healing and stuff like that. And I just thought this is going to be buzzing for me. I haven't tried anything yet, but I had that and I've spoken openly about it quite a lot.
Mhm.
And I didn't want my grey cloud of uncertainty to then cloud anyone in that natural scene to think that that was like if anyone thought I was potentially on gear and I was trying to still compete in the naturals because I do think while I don't have an ego about being natural, I don't think I'm better than anybody else because I'm a natural athlete. If anything, I'm probably
Yeah.
fucking worse because I'm tired all the fucking time. I'm just trying to recover. But
Yeah.
I think that whole having that ego about being natural and thinking that you're better than someone who's an untested athlete is just fucking ridiculous.
It's
And
so silly.
it's that I think that's the biggest problem about it. But then I also think on the flip side of that, if you have taken PEDs and then you are trying to compete in a natural federation, you're a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, that's kind of rude. To go back, like honestly, it's why would you do that? That's so dumb. Like to go back for why? Like you're already enhanced. Like the genetic cap has already been removed. So it doesn't like I remember I had a buddy many, many years ago. I wasn't even in strongman, but he was just starting strongman. He was taking gear and stuff, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I was just bopping around. I didn't care. But he was just like, honestly, my deadlift at the end of a season will drop to 300 pounds, but by the top end of my season, I'll be up to 650. And he's like, so in a year, I'll put on 350 pounds on my deadlift. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. He was a middleweight, obviously. So like 650 would be the top end for the U90s, U80s. He'd be
Yeah.
technically a U90. He'd bulk up to that. But like, I was just like, oh, that's crazy. But it's just like, but you still have that genetic cap. So even in his off season, his deadlift would go up when he was off for quite some time. And it's just because
Hmm.
you put on that muscle mass, even though, it's still going to be there. So to go back,
Well,
I think is rude.
yeah, you've changed your
Yep.
physiology, so therefore you've made that decision, and I think as well this is why it's a big decision for me to take, and but then playing devil's advocate for that point too. A lot of people get into strongman, don't have the information, get given bad information, take gear, and are then backed into a corner of, well, I've only done a little cycle. Why can't I still compete in the naturals? And I think, yeah, but
Hmm.
you have to own that now. You have to own that
Yeah.
decision and go, yep, I've done that. I've made my bed and now I
Yeah.
must sleep in it. And I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that's missing in strongman is sort of having the morals to go, fuck, I fucked up there a bit. Like, I'd like to go into the naturals because it's a bit easier and I'd probably be quite high up. But I've already made the decision. I need to fucking stick to that decision now.
Yeah.
And this is the problem because now people don't want to take fucking loads of gear because they've got an easier option with the naturals, but
Yeah. It's an easy
it's
win.
a hardware. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing, isn't it? And it's
Do
a
I
really
go
hard
into the
topic.
opens and like smoke a 500 yoke, or do I go into the opens untested and be smoked under a 700-pound yoke? I would love to
Yeah.
see an 800-pound yoke, to be honest. I love yoke. Yoke and
Oh
me are
God.
best friends. I have the anatomy for it, so like I'm good to go. But
I don't.
I'd love to see a heavy yoke.
That's too heavy already. I think for your
No.
worlds last year, was it like I think the 82s was about 290 kilos or something like that. Oh, it just fucking crushed me in
Yeah,
half that. I'd be
yeah, it
dead.
was. What was mine in kilos?
Can't believe
318.
300.
That's not that heavy.
That is very heavy.
No,
No.
it's fine. The first year I walked with that because the weights pretty much stay the same every year at OSG. But the first year I got under 700 pounds, like, oh, I threw my entire rib cage out. Like I think I twisted myself. And I remember me, Rebecca Roberts, and Annabelle, we were all lined up to see Dr. Todd to get adjusted. And he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I think I messed up my shoulders and my ribs under the yoke." And I'm like telling him, and I'm like, "This is how it hurts." He's like, "Okay, get on the table." And he's fixing me. And then behind me, as I'm explaining, Rebecca and Annabelle are going, "Yep, yep, us too." And he's like, "You too?" And they're like, "Yeah, same injury, same problem." And he's like, "Oh my God." And I don't even think I
Horrific.
finished the yoke that year. But it's taken like 4 years to successfully complete a 700-pound yoke. So it still took time, but now I love
Yeah.
it because I've put the work in and I've seen the reward come out of the quicksand. I don't know. Don't ask
Yeah.
me. I'm just the podcast host.
I'll say as an athlete, my yoke has been horrifically terrible
Hmm.
forever. Ever since I started it, I'm not bad at it. I'm all right. Like I don't throw yoke events. I don't think of it as one of my worst events. It's like I'm an averagely good yoker, but
Hmm.
I just I, that's one thing that I fucking cannot recover from. If I have to do heavy
Really?
yoke runs in my training prep, fuck no. We have to limit them. I do them like every other week on the run ups to comps because I can't
Do
do them
you get
week in,
yoke
week out.
lung?
I just get yoke death. Just my whole body just
Uh,
shuts down.
Interesting. Okay, so this is what happens with my body with yoke. So I don't touch yoke until 4 weeks out because then it's going to completely like my low back and my lumbar and my hips are going to just go to shit. And then my physio and chiro are going to be like, "What have you been doing? Stop it." And so I don't touch yoke until 4 weeks out just because it saves my body. Plus, I've been doing this for 9 years. I have the muscle maturity to know what to do.
Yeah.
Um, but then it would give me yoke lung, so it compresses my ribs, and then breathing hurts. And then my low back is just on fire for days and days. And then my sacrum and my hips just decide to go one way and the other way. So we
Yeah.
don't touch log until 4 weeks out, or so
Yeah.
yoke. But we
Yeah.
don't like
No,
log.
I know what you mean. It's that like that feeling down your rib cage in it where it pulls really tight and you're like, ooh, this hurts. When you get up on the morning, you're like, ooh, fucking hell, no deep breaths today,
You
boys.
roll over like an old man. Ugh. But and you don't like, what's a really fun medley is duck walk into farmers.
No, never. I'm not doing duck walk ever. I did. The only time I've ever done something even similar to duck walk is power stairs, and
Oh,
I
I
did
love that
that.
too.
I don't mind power stairs to be fair, but I did it at Europe's in. I've done it at quite a few comps to be fair. I did it in Europe's in 2023, and I've still got the bruises now from that.
In
Yeah,
your
they're
soul.
still here.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
they're
touched
just
a
there
Fingal's
forever.
finger?
Yeah, I fucking love a Fingal's finger. Yeah,
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to touch
love
one
it.
so bad. I think we only have two or three here in Canada. We don't have very many, and it's just like I have no idea how it feels, and I desperately want to because it looks so fun.
It is. It's really good fun. That was the final event at Natural Worlds in 2023, and just before it, so my mate Emma, who me have like quite a lot of banter because we're very similar and we just fight each other all the time basically, and she was sort of fighting to get on the podium, so it was between her and one other girl, and I think they were either tied on points or something, and she had to win that final event to make sure she pulled up into third place to get on the podium. And so I was obviously watching who was in second to make sure they
Yeah.
didn't get more reps than me. And Emma had gone out before me, and I think she'd done like 4 reps on the fingers. We had like 75 seconds or something. So I'd done the first three, just banged them out, like watching over my shoulder to check the other girl wasn't doing more. And she was struggling with the first reps. I thought, right, I'm soundy, I'll do three.
Yeah.
And right at the very end, there'd been a bit of discussion. And this is an interesting like topic within this like strongman world because there's been a lot of, oh, they were playing games. They were trying to make sure that she got on the podium instead of her. They were doing this, doing that. I don't care
Ugh.
about that. It's a fucking
Yeah.
competition. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. It's the whole point
Yeah.
to be fucking tactical. If you tell me off for being tactical about a comp, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're
Yeah.
not here for
This isn't
cups
a
of tea.
pageant. This
Yeah.
isn't a beauty pageant. This isn't bodybuilding. This isn't gymnastics. We don't go based on a panel. We go based on points and time.
Exactly. So like I'm going out there to win. If something I do
Yep.
affects someone else, that's their fucking problem now. It's not mine. So anyway, we were doing it. I did the third rep, was like watching, looking around and thinking like, fuck, should I just do one more? Am I meant to do one more?
Always.
and I picked it up for the for the fourth rep, and like I would have tied with Emma with it, and I got it to my chest, and I thought, am I being a cunt by doing this, or am I not? Like, should I leave it so that I make sure she gets podium, or should I just fucking send it? And I was like looking around, I could hear people shouting at me, and I just thought, ah, fuck, send it. I was like, fuck you. I don't care if you make the podium. I only care about me.
Well, I
But
mean, if she wanted the podium, she would have flipped it 5 times.
exactly. And to be fair, she didn't make the podium, so she can't whinge about anything. But
You were
lesson
there.
to be
What more do you want? You got a
lesson to be
trophy.
learned. Exactly. Lesson to be learned there. Don't trust me. Don't trust me ever. Not when it comes to strongman events,
Noted.
because
I will
I'll
type
do what
that
I
in
have
my
to
computer.
fucking do.
I'll cut your throat. But I'll see you at drinks later tonight.
Absolutely.
Honestly, that's how it should be. That's what I talk about all the time. Is like on and off the floor, like making sure that you turn on and you turn off that competitive edge. Just because we're not here to make enemies. We're here to have fun, be competitive, and make friends. And like, sure, like you walk into the stadium and you're in the zone, you're locked in. Okay, cool. But at least like if I do a good job better than you, like have the decency to be like, hey man, fist bump, that was great. But I'm gonna beat you in the
Absolutely.
next one. Heads up. And then let's go get drinks after. Like you can be friends in the sport, but just like quit being a dick about it and like leave your ego somewhere.
Yeah, and you can have friendly competitive banter. Like this is the one thing I
Yeah,
hate, and this is why I
I
think
love
people
that.
get wound up with me at comps, is because I'm that person that's there. Like someone's like, oh, I'm gonna beat shit at this event. I'm like, oh, sucks to be you then, doesn't it? Like I'm not gonna fucking play with this. Like you ask me how
Yeah.
I'm gonna do at this event, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do fucking mint, and you're fucked basically.
I
But
was jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean for stones at OSG this last year. I was just like, I can't wait. I love stones. I'm gonna do so good. I love stones. Let's go. What's taking so long? And all the other open women are like, ugh, do you want to do this one for everyone? And it's just like, no, just for me. I can't wait. Let's go. And it's
yeah,
just like
100%.
I love like stuff that you love. It's like, I don't care how you do. Like, I can't wait. Like, let's go.
Well, this is the thing, like, I love competing and I enjoy
Yeah.
going there and having a bit of banter and having a bit of a
Yeah.
laugh about the competitiveness and like being like, I'm gonna fuck you up on this one, like, you're so fucked. Like before the sandbag event with Donna, I was there and we were like, what we're doing? Are we doing 100%? And like, yeah, 100%. Well, I'm gonna do 110, fuck yeah. Like, I love that. I think it's class and it's fun. And if
Yeah.
you don't enjoy
Yeah.
that bit,
Yeah.
competing's probably not for you.
Well, and for the yoke this last year, I looked at Becky Houston, and I was just like, you should chase me because I'm gonna go super fast. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna chase you. I'm like, shit. And then afterwards, I finished before her, like clear, I think about 8 to 10 seconds ahead of her. And then afterwards, she was like, I was chasing you so hard. And then like we hugged and I smacked her ass and it was all good. And we got it on the TV. So like it was fine. But it's like that's what it
100%.
is. It's like make me be better. Like chase me. Like give me something to shoot for. Like let me chase you. Let me like and then come off and just be like, "Oh, you almost had me there." Or, "Oh, dang it, I thought I had you." Just have fun with it. Turn on that competitive edge with your friends. Like inspire them so that it inspires you and have fun and be fast and put on a show because that's what it's about. If we want to
Yeah.
go anywhere in this sport, we have to put on a show. And it's even funner to do when you're doing it with friends who you can sass.
100%. That's what'll help the sport grow as well. People love a bit of
Yeah.
fucking competitive bullshit. Like people love you chatting shit about people. Every time I kick off on Instagram, I get the biggest like turnout of stuff off of it. I get the best engagement when I start causing a bit of havoc. And I think that's because that's what people want to see. That's
They
what
want to
people
see
are
it.
fucking
They
yeah,
want to see
that's
the
what they'll pay
drama.
for.
Me and Jackie Rhodes are trying to figure out how to be enemies, but it's difficult because there's not very many Jackies out there and like I
Ah,
have too much fun.
I've got another Jackie for you. When I was listening
Oh,
to your podcast with Jackie Rhodes, I was listening and
yeah.
I was hearing you looking for a third Jackie.
Yeah.
I have a Jackie for you. She's called
Is she
Jackie
open?
Duncan. Yep, she's an open weight.
I'm
She's
gonna go
real
follow her right
tall.
now.
She's real tall.
Real
Jackie
tall.
Duncan. Yeah, oh, she's
Is
real
that
tall. She used to
is
do
that her
she well. She's
Instagram?
still Jackie. I don't know what her Instagram is actually. Let me find it. Hang on.
Jackie Duncan Smith?
No, that's not her. Hang on. It's JAKKI
Oh, she spells it weird.
Jackie.
Jakki.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Oh,
My
there she
internet's not
is.
working. I can't
She
find
doesn't
her.
follow me. Oh, she plays football too?
Yeah, she's an American footballer. She's going to America as well this year to play American football, so she's shit out
I'm
of
gonna.
that. Yeah, she's
So
just
cool.
started Strongman. I met her on placement because she's a physio, and I remember seeing her and being like, she was terrifying looking. I was like, oh my God, you're so scary. And we started talking, and she was like, yeah, I really want to get into strength training. I like the idea of that. And I was like, come to the gym with me now. And like the first session, I think she'd hit like a 70 kilo log or something after never touching one
Nice.
in her life. I was like, fucking hell.
Classic. That's always how it goes, isn't it? Where can guests of the podcast find you today? Because you have
Well,
your own podcast.
I've got my own podcast yet, so your episode will be out in the next couple of weeks, and my podcast. So my
Ooh.
podcast is Strongwoman Highs. It's on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all that jazz. And then I have my personal Instagram, which is just Becca Worgan. I'm not good at posting. I post a lot of shit, but sometimes it's quite entertaining. So that's my
It's
selling point.
entertaining.
I don't really have
I love
anything other
watching your
than that.
stories. That's fair. Are you
It's
on
just
YouTube or anything like that?
Nah, so I've got Strong Woman Highs on YouTube,
Okay.
and I'm hoping to do a bit more stuff. But to be honest, like my main focus now is to push that podcast, like you are.
Yeah.
Like I want to grow the podcast, try and get platforms out for more women to talk about
Yeah.
strength sports. So
Yeah.
that's
And you're
really
on
my main
TikTok too,
focus.
though.
I am on TikTok. I don't really use it though. I used it a lot, like over the years, more for editing, to be honest, more than anything. But I don't really check TikTok now. TikTok's dead.
So if you go on TikTok and add Becca, she will send you funny videos, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Yeah. To be fair, mate, Instagram's my one now. I spend hours of my day on Instagram. I fucking love it. Instagram Reels is life.
Nice. So what is your Instagram handle and what is your podcast handle on Instagram?
So Instagram for me is at Becca Worgan. Super straightforward. It's Worgan. And then Strong Woman Highs is just Strong Woman Highs. Super
All one
fucking
word.
easy. Yeah,
Awesome.
nice and easy to remember.
Well, thank you so much for spending time and talking about the world of natural strongman and strong women. I know that's like a bit of a taboo subject for a lot of people just because talking about peds versus being natty is always a tough subject. And
Yeah.
this is my first episode cracking into it with somebody. So thank you so much for giving your perspective.
Woohoo!
And you guys go give Becca a follow, go follow her podcast, go listen to it. Do we have weekly drops that they can listen to?
Yeah, weekly drops every Friday at
Perfect.
10 a.m.
She's way more scheduled than me.
No, I've been
Go
through
get,
it. My podcast has been going for fucking ages, so I've managed to
Ooh,
get it on track this year. So it's a bit more
nice.
professional now.
Well, go support her because she could make money if it starts to pop off. So you guys should go and subscribe and make it pop off so that she can get it monetized. Becca, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. What are the next comps for you? Like obviously university's priority right now, but what's your next comp?
Yeah, so I'm currently I'm gonna fuck up a little bit because at the end of May I've decided to do two back-to-back comps in 2 days. One which is the Scottish Strength Cup, which is on the 24th of May. And that's luckily an open weight class
Yeah.
competition, which was an invitational, so that was quite cool. But then I also qualified for Brits, so that's untested
Nice.
Brits, but I qualified as an under 82. So I will unfortunately have to weigh in on the Saturday
Mm.
comp to then compete on the Saturday and Sunday. So I'm sort of trying to work out how I'm going to do that. But yeah, so that's my comp prep for that. I've got the Irish Strength Cup, and then I've got Europe's, and then hopefully OSG Worlds.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you follow along Becca's journey. She has 5 major comps coming up, and I can't wait to see you at OSG.
Ah, thanks, mate. Thanks for letting me on the podcast as well. It's been lovely. Hope you don't have too much of a
Absolutely.
horrible time editing all the terrible things I say out.
I'm gonna bleep all, gotta bleep out all the CUNTs. I'm gonna
I
leave
can't
those in
help
there.
myself.
Anyways, have a good rest of your week. And guys, make sure you tune in, go and subscribe to Becca's podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.